Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this information meeting of Council. So this is more of an information meeting than a regular meeting. And some people like to see resolutions come out of these meetings, but really, this is strictly a meeting for information purposes only. So we hear presentations with the goal of us maybe taking action on the topic, but the purpose is for us to be better informed as councillors about the various things that are taking place in our community. So we invite people to come and talk to us and we're already at the third Monday of this month. So the city of Dieppe recognizes that the land on which it operates is part of the unceded traditional ancestral lands of the Mi'kmaq. So the first presentation is on the greenhouse program. So hello, Megan Capelier. Oh. Hello, everyone, Your Worship, councillors. I'm very pleased to be here to talk about the Uniplex Greenhouse Program. My name is Megan Capello, and I'm a community officer with the Heritage and Partnership Division of the city. And now, if you hear my accent, you can tell that I'm from France. I have a master's in heritage studies, and that's what led me to this position. Heritage is something that includes a lot of things, including things like community gardens. So I worked on this in the last month of 2023. I worked on implementing this project so that it would see the light of day in January 2024, and we hope that it'll continue in the years to come. So just to give you a little bit of context, a bit of history of the Uniplex greenhouse. So you might remember that it opened in 2020, but we were in full pandemic mode, so we had to delay the project. The first program was launched in fall 2021. Restrictions had lifted somewhat, so we could garden together as long as we kept a certain distance from each other. So from August 17th to January 21st, 2022, we had a partnership with Garden City, and I'll be talking about this company a little later on, and community groups in Cathy, so new immigrants. And that project was a great success. Everybody was delighted with it. They were very enthusiastic with how things unfolded. They wanted to continue. CAFI wanted to continue. But coordinating a project like this takes time, and it takes human resources. And we had difficulty finding those human resources in 2022. So we suspended the program for another year. And now I'm back. I was hired for that very reason in September 2023. And so in the fall, that was my focus to reopen the greenhouse in January 2024. So why is it so important to have a greenhouse for residents in the municipality? Well, it helps people learn greenhouse gardening techniques, which can be very different from what we know about classic gardening. And it gives access to fresh, healthy, and nutritious food. And not just during the short summer season, but throughout the entire year, so even during the winter. And, we're all aware of the importance of eating fresh and local and and how the quality can sometimes differ from what we find in the supermarket. We know that this has positive impacts or benefits on our body. So another point of this greenhouse is to raise public awareness of the importance of eating well, and also to foster social interaction, especially between young people who are not necessarily accustomed to putting their hands in the earth and cultivating their own food. So it puts those young people in contact with older generations who, for many of them, this was a day-to-day practice. We also want to involve the community in the maintenance of this greenhouse. So we want Dieppe citizens to learn how to manage the greenhouse on their own. And we're looking to have a more equitable distribution of resources with 25% of harvests that are donated to a food bank. Now, for this type of project, you need a public and you need providers or suppliers. I have a master's in heritage studies. I'm not a professional gardener, but that's why we brought, and so that's why we brought Garden Cities on board. So our target audience, and we're looking at a number of them, but the first ones that we're going to deal with is the École Mathieu Martin. This school responded to our call, but it was perfect too, because they meet all the most important criteria for us. So the question of the intergenerationality, and also newcomers. So, and sometimes for these newcomers, French is not either their first or second language. So this gives them an opportunity to practice their skills in a different setting, in a fun way. They learn how to garden and they share new things. So eventually we want to open up to new community groups. Café, we had already had success with the Café group. And we also want to involve seniors for occasional sessions. So there are seniors who want to be involved in this project. So we try to include them on each rotation, and I'll be talking a little bit more about this. And we want to invite them to share their knowledge. And I guess the goal is for the whole community to take care of this or take over this project in the long term. So what's the municipality's role, and what is my role as an officer? Well, the weekly coordination of the greenhouse system with the various partners. So making sure that all the objectives have been met, setting up calendars, making sure that all the materials that the suppliers need is ordered and received. And then there's the preparation of reports. And we want this project to continue. I also do a weekly check of the greenhouse. So are the pumps working? Is the pH level right? And so forth. In the mid-term, I will also be facilitating sessions in cooperation with Garden City. So last year I started actually doing some training in aeroponics. It's not something that everybody's aware of, but the particularity of this greenhouse at the Uniplex is that we have aeroponic tables. And before working for the city, I had no idea what aeroponics was about, but it's a way of gardening that you can do without land. It's growing plants without dirt. Plants are suspended, and there's a vapor that is put onto the roots that contains all the necessary nutrients for the plants. So you can imagine how revolutionary this technique could be in the future. And so I'm learning all of those techniques, and I'm acting a bit like an intermediary between Garden Cities and the general public. So we're hoping to be able to offer those sessions later on this year. So how is the program going to work? So we have the first focus, which is gardening, and then the second focus is nutrition. So for the gardening, there will be 3-month rotations. And then I've listed phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So in phase 1, I will be presenting the concept of aeroponics, like what I'm doing with you here tonight, but with the various target audiences. And then the gardening will take place. There'll be 3 sessions per week. And then phase 3, there will be 1 intergenerational session with seniors. And we're gonna put the focus on nutrition with information on balanced diets, and we're going to make the resources available to the public so that people know how to feed themselves properly. Now, what were those rotations that I was talking about? So the first one will be the students from Mathieu Martin from early February to late April 2024. And then during the summer, since it's the summer and community gardens will already be active, we're going to focus on those gardens. And then in the fall, we'll start a new 3-month rotation. So from early October to late December, and we'll open it up to the school and the community. And we might involve another school if another school volunteers. But we'll also try to get some residents involved. There will be a 1-month break at least between each rotation so that we can check things and we can put things back in, we can check the greenhouse and make do any necessary work. Now, with respect to my position, now I was hired as a heritage officer so my main focus is on the greenhouse, but there are other things that I would like to develop and that I hope to have the chance to do as well. So as I said, in the summer, we're going to be focusing on community gardens, but for Doiron House, we want to develop a traditional Acadian garden. And we also want to create seasonal programming for Doiron House, so concerts, artisan activities, and so forth. We're also hoping to collaborate on other projects. And if time allows, and if the resources allow, we want to pursue other projects with various other partners. So thank you very much for your attention. And now I'd like to know if you have any questions or comments for me. Thank you for your excellent presentation. So Ms. Janet has a question, I believe. Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you for the presentation. It was very interesting. I was very excited to see this presentation. So first of all, congratulations to, for including young people and young newcomers as well, who don't necessarily have, they haven't necessarily mastered the language. So this is another context for them so that they can integrate better into the community. So I'm just wondering, what kind of programming are you looking at for future years and in the near future? Will the public, and I'm trying to understand the 3 sessions that you were talking about, but will the public be able to decide to say, okay, well, I want to go on a Saturday at 11 o'clock, 11:30. How open is this going to be to the public? Well, aeroponics is a technique that really has to be monitored. So we're going to be doing maintenance 3 times a week, but it's not necessarily the same person who has to do it. So once the greenhouse is open to the community as a whole, citizens will be able to organize rotations on their own. So there will be a centralized data system, an iPad, so everybody will be able to see what the previous group did. So what will be interesting is that the community will be able to function or to operate. So we'll have somebody doing Mondays and other people on Wednesdays or Fridays. So people will be able to do like 2 Mondays out of a month. So we'll have to see who signs up for this, and depending on the availability that each person has to give. All right, a part for those people who are going to actually, have their hands in the soil. Would there also be an option to give public sessions, where you allow people just to kind of visit to see what's happening and to learn about aeroponics? Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Yes, because this is a really interesting gardening method. And one of our projects for this summer is to have open house days where we'll have things growing, and that'll be my role to uh, to to provide an introduction to this method of gardening. And then we'll see if citizens want to get involved and actually want to get involved hands-on. But of course, yes, and that's our goal. But it'll be a registration system like we have in other community garden projects. But I don't know if it'll be on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. All right, thank you. All right, anyone else? Councillor Brito. Thank you, Your Worship. I'm very enthusiastic about this project. Here's what I want to know. So people in Dieppe and at Rotary Park in the summer, particularly seniors, that they already have a community garden. So will there be a collaboration between your project and those seniors in their activity? Yes, the idea is not to exclude any groups, but the idea is that the people from the community garden and the Uniplex greenhouse will work together. And that's why we're going to have fewer activities at the greenhouse in the summer, because the community garden will be very active. It'll be open and operating, but seniors prefer to be, and from what they've told us anyways, they prefer to be working in the community garden. And then for now, we've said that, okay, people who are interested in the community garden in the Rotary, we're thinking that they're going to be interested in the greenhouse too, but it'll be complementary, yes. Yes, well, as you mentioned earlier, the history of gardening, of working the soil, I think they will be curious about seeing the two ways of gardening. Yes, and it's not the same. Aeroponics will not necessarily allow you to grow plants with roots, for example, like carrots. So the goal is for the two activities to be complementary, and that the aeroponic system will be open to the public, just as is the case with the community garden is. And so we'll see if, we'll see what people prefer and what they're interested in. But if people doing the community gardens want to learn new things, they can do so at the greenhouse. But the idea too is to have people who are working at the community garden come and give sessions and discuss with the young people who will be learning aeroponics. All right, well, thank you, and good luck with your project. Anyone else? Okay, I don't see any other requests or any other questions. So thank you very much for your presentation, Ms. Capello. And we're excited to see what comes out of this. Yes. In recent years, there wasn't a lot of things happening in that space. And so this is a great idea, but we need to develop it. So I'm happy to see that you're there to do that. So good luck, and we'll keep an eye. We'll keep an eye on and see what happens with the project. All right, thank you. All right, our second presentation now, the Arab Culture Club. Miss Rim Fada.
Et voilà.
Ça marche.
There
Ok,
you go.
alors, bonsoir et merci.
So good evening, and thank you for having us here. Thank you for allowing us to present the Arab Culture Club. My name is Rim Fayad. I'm the president of the club, and I'm from Lebanon. I've been in Moncton for 13 years. So I had the pleasure of meeting Councillor Janet. We have some musical interests in common. And I also know Councillor Thibodeau last year. He represented the city of Dieppe at the launch of the Arab Heritage program. And so he attended a musical event that we held last year. So all that to say that we're very happy to be here with you this evening to share a little bit more about our organization and to open the doors to strong collaboration and continued collaboration with the city of Dieppe. So tonight I'm here with our Vice President, Naila. I think you know her already. And our Treasurer as well. And another board member. And we also have volunteer members, Ibrahim and Ella. So I'll start. Who are we? We are a non-profit organization, independent and inclusive of ethnic, religious, and political affiliations. So why did we feel that we needed this Arab club? In the last decade, the social and cultural reality or context has changed in Moncton and Dieppe. The community has become very diverse with an increase in the number of citizens who speak Arabic as a language or who are of Arab origin. Arabic has become the third language spoken, the most often spoken language after French and English. So as our community grows and develops and diversifies, it's important for us to create a welcoming environment where newcomers, now whether it's an individual or a family with children, so that these people can see themselves in activities and in the community. This builds trust and allows them to increase their sense of belonging as well. So their heritage, exploring their heritage, allowing them to express their heritage allows them to build bridges. So all of that encouraged me and my friends to create this club at the end of 2019. So our aim is to play an essential role in New Brunswick. We want to represent the diversity and the richness of Arab culture and heritage that in a way that allows us to contribute to the vitality and commitment to the community. Now, our mission, what distinguishes us from an ethno-cultural groups is our mission and our vision. So our mission is to create an environment in which Arab cultural, linguistic, historical, and heritage aspects can be lived and shared, and harmoniously integrated into the magnificent Canadian mosaic. So the aim is to foster strong ties between the Arab community and the diverse cultures that surround it. So in simple terms, we want to invite communities to live and experience the richness of Arab culture. Now, our community, our target audience is not necessarily the Arab community. We want to target the community in general, regardless of the language that they speak or their ethnic origin. Our organization is an artistic and cultural organization that explores the richness of Arab culture. So how do we do this? We do this by establishing opportunities to raise public awareness of the richness of Arab culture, and by strengthening social and cultural ties between members from different countries of origin and between Arab and non-Arab communities as well. So, and I should point out that Arab heritage is very rich and very diverse. So the Arab world is made up of 22 different countries that share Arabic as a common language, but that are very varied in terms of dialects, traditions, religion, cuisines, music. It's a very diverse community. So here's our board, and our board represents that diversity very well. So we have 9 current members of our board, and they're from various countries: Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt, Palestine, Iraq, and Iran. So we are part of the Greater Moncton region, but we are active at the provincial level as well. And we have a member of our board who's from St. John. So, as I said, we began in late 2019, and we were able to organize an activity for children and organize a poetry reading activity as well within our first 4 months. But as is the case for everyone, we were also affected by COVID at the beginning of 2022, but that didn't stop us from fulfilling our mission thanks to virtual activities. But after the pandemic, we came back strong with activities to celebrate Arab culture in the month of April. So in 2021 and 2022, we had a number of activities in various areas of interest and focusing on various forms of Arab culture.
De notre vie, nous avons fait des lectures trilingues de poésie arabe avec
During the 4 years, we had some readings with the different poets from the Moncton area who recited poetry in English, French, and in Arabic. The public library is an excellent partner with our association. They have presented Arab authors throughout the month of April. We organized musical concerts showing different styles of music from different countries, and we presented the beauty of Arabic calligraphy through exhibitions and workshops. During the pandemic, we organized virtual sessions on different subjects and on different Arab art. We've organized activities for children to encourage them to learn and to explore the Arabic language in a context of fun and recreation. In December 2023, the club organized a wonderful activity for children that was very successful at the Dieppe Library. 33 children participated, and it was an experience that was a lot of fun for the participants and for the volunteers. as well as activities. We strengthened our presence in New Brunswick and outside the province as well by participating in different activities such as Mosaic in Moncton and the Arab Book Fair in Toronto and Mississauga. So this is just an overview of our mandate, of our activities, but who are the members? Well, as I mentioned, the members are not just from the Arab community. We have members who are non-Arabs, but they're interested in and curious about the Arabic culture and who are interested by cultural activities, generally speaking. Now, why is it important? Well, based on what people said when they joined, they do join because they want to maintain links with the Arab culture and because they're proud of their heritage and they want to participate in activities to share their heritage with the community. We are proud of our members and our partners. Over the 4 years, we were able to build and to continue to develop partnerships with local, provincial, and national organizations, both private and public. Over the last few years, we have been able to raise funds through grants and through sponsorships in kind and monetary. Our membership and the number of volunteers has increased, and we receive a lot of interest from citizens who come to our activities from other cities in New Brunswick. This encourages us to extend our activities to other communities here in New Brunswick, for example, Fredericton and St. John, next month even. Our social media platforms have been developed, and they developed very quickly as well, as a matter of fact, and we use them to connect and to make people aware of the club and to share content. Based on this success, we are dreaming, we have these big dreams that we're hoping to achieve in cooperation with the community. As you've seen, our activities are very diverse, very varied, and we want to include artists from different cultural sectors, and by presenting shows and artists from other provinces as well. We are hoping to organize expos, book fairs, film festivals, Arab film festivals, and we're hoping to offer programs and practical experiences through workshops on the cooking, calligraphy, for example, and arts and crafts. We hope to integrate the Arab culture in other events and other cultural activities where we truly want to collaborate with other organizations and perhaps integrate some of their programs to present the Arab heritage in an integrated fashion. In order to do that, we want to strengthen our capacities by building a website, by finding a permanent location or a center of Arab culture in the future, we hope. And we'd like to create an executive team and recruit staff who would be able to manage all of these projects in a sustainable way. All of this to ensure the continuity and the growth of the club. There are a number of different ways to help us. You can become a member, you can become a volunteer. As a matter of fact, our volunteers give us a lot of time and passion. You can support us financially. We take in-kind contributions as well for the general operation of the club or to support specific programs of the club. We could also help to expand our visibility on the social media by following our pages on Facebook or LinkedIn, or by sharing our posts. So we really are eager to increase our partnership with community organizations, and we are very eager to cooperate with the city of Dieppe in the near future. Thank you for your time and your interest. And we have handed out some souvenirs from the club that show our mission, our vision, and an example of the Arabic calligraphy. So thank you to all of you. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Any questions from council? Ms. Jeanette, thank you. Thank you. It's not a question, but I'd like to thank you for having come to present your club here to Dieppe. I hope that there will be a greater number of activities here because we have a growing population of Arab background, and your activities are superb for children and for adults. The music is wonderful, and yes, we share the passion for music, but it's always wonderful. Yes, thank you, Melissa. It's starting, and I hope that there will be a number of activities held in Dieppe in the future. Yes, thank you. Any further comments, questions? If not, I would encourage you to maintain the relationship with the recreation services, especially during the summer. There's a program in which we offer the possibility for different people of different origins to perform on our outdoor stage. No, yeah, the outdoor stage every Monday evening. So perhaps if you're interested in that, you could talk to somebody from the recreation department to see if there is still room in the schedule for this summer. So thank you again for your presentation. It's always a pleasure to see you, and best of luck in your activities. And please feel free, come knock on our door. I'm not saying that the door is going to be open every day, but you never know. Thank you. Thank you to all of you. Thank you. And our next presentation then is on the Dieppe Kite International Festival.
Je m'excuse, mais je vois que tu as des gadgets.
En autant que tu parles proche du...
Please speak directly into the microphone so we can hear you, and so that our vast public here present this evening and on the internet, and I'm not trying to pressure you here, but these hundreds of people who are listening to us on the internet this evening, we want to make sure they understand your message. Thank you. And please give your name and why you're here, just to make sure everybody is aware. Well, we're here. My name is Philippe Lausier, and I am the last president of the International Kite Festival. Your Worship, members of council, as former president of the International Kite Festival, I've come to talk to you. The International Kite Festival was a wonderful activity that let their city shine throughout the world. Over the years, I was able to talk to people, to learn, and to establish relationships with a number of people that are unforgettable. I'm sorry, could you speak a little closer to the microphone, please? Because people are saying they can't hear you. Oh, no, well, I don't speak very loudly. Is that better? Can you hear me now? Is it better now? Yes, that's fine. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. And we're happy well, everything, all good things must come to an end. And I'm very proud of all of the work that was done by the executive committee and all of the volunteers. I'd also like to thank the staff of the city for their support over the number of years that the festival was held. We were able to offer this annual festival by inviting the largest number of people possible by respecting the budget. You know that as a not-for-profit, the objective is to use up all of the budget without creating a deficit. In other words, if we had a budget of $180,000 of expenses, and after having paid all of our bills, we were left with $1,000, we could say mission accomplished. This might give the impression that we're running deficits, but it really shows the professionalism of the whole committee. It was becoming more and more difficult to offer this festival with the more and more limited financial support from the municipalities and other levels of government. Sponsors were becoming more and more difficult to find, and the volunteers were getting winded. The International Kite Festival Corporation was wrapped up then after having noticed that the city was not interested in appointing a new committee to continue working with the corporation. And thus, we are giving you a check of $20,111, which is the amount that was left in the bank account. I'd like to wish you a great year, and I'm sure we'll see you again. Thank you, and we'll take care of the details a little later. Are there any questions from members of council? If none, I have a comment. Since it was an element of the twinning with the city of Dieppe in France at the beginning, but I know for a fact that they also had financial difficulties in the last few years. Let's say that things aren't as easy as they used to be, or as smooth. You know, everything in its time, and we see it in all sorts of sectors, all sorts of fields. Something works really well for a certain amount of time, and it was almost 20 years, or if not longer. But that we've been organizing this kite festival, and of course, I need to point out all of the work done by all of the volunteers, but I know that you were one of them. You've been there since the very beginning, and you're still here to give us this check that shows clearly that it was a lot of work by the volunteers, and you know, it was because of them and thanks to them that it did last as long as it did. And you never know what the future will bring. Sometimes trends change, and over the years and over time, and this is where we are today. But thank you for the work that you did personally, but all of the others as well. I can see their faces in my mind, but there were a number of people who contributed to the success of the Kite Festival for a number of years. So thank you so much. I see that Mr. Brideau has Yes, I'm really sorry to see that this festival is wrapping up. I can just say how much I appreciated being with you in Dieppe in Normandy. It was a very special activity that I truly enjoyed. How big that festival was, and how many friends I made, people that I'm still in contact with, people that I met over there. And the year that we brought the whole team from Canada with us over there, the maple syrup that we distributed to the people who came to visit us in our tent. That was the spirit was truly there. And the whole team from Dieppe, New-Brunswick, us. It was a pleasure for all of us to share this activity. So thank you once again, Louis. Thank you. And there's another person that was a member of the group that had been there during the first trip to visit the International Kite Festival to the very first time around. Councillor Lantaine. Yeah, just a comment for me too. I was one of the founding members of the festival. I was there at the very beginning, and I think you arrived just after, but we were able to go to Dieppe in France to see it there. It was marvelous. So thank you. Thank you. I experienced it. I know how much work it was, a lot of preparation, and they were great years. And but as the mayor said, everything in its own time, and it's a shame, but I'd like to thank you sincerely, you and all those who contributed to it. Thank you. So I just wanted to, we were able to really shine a light on this event over the last few years, and we're going to look at the kite festival and the kite flyers. We're going to contact you to make sure that it won't be forgotten. So yes, we're going to do something. We are going to give a nod to the club and its members at a future meeting, I can assure you. Thank you. And if there is nothing else, this wraps up the meeting for this evening. Thank you. Thank you, and have a good evening, everybody.